Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everything in between. Welcome to the regularly scheduled Season 3 Aftermath podcast. Basically, this is like Season 2 Aftermath podcast. We talk about the season, we talk about some of the extra stuff that happened in it, which in this case was only one, which was the Jonah Hex audio drama. If anyone else has seen it, I am Richard, but most people call me Dick. And I wrote the episodes Killer Frost, The Tweedles, Walrus, and I co-wrote Harley Quinn and the final Scarecrow episode, as well as voicing the character Scarecrow and doing the audio and video for each episode.
Hi, my name is Lex of Power. I am a writer. I have written the episodes for season 3. I wrote Toyman. I had written Cheetah. Also written the Dr. Alchemy episode. And I also wrote the Jonah Hex audio drama, which I was personally very proud of. I like Jonah Hex, and hopefully continue to write more. And I currently have a few scripts in the pipeline.
Hello, my name is Juice Sapling. I voiced for Killer Frost in the first episode of season 3. I'm kind of a small voice actor right now, but I'd like to get into more roles. This was a very fun project, and I always love geeking out about superheroes and villains. So, yeah.
Yep. So before we get started on the episodes, here I know Lex and Jonah Hex, but have you seen the Jonah Hex audio drama?
I have not.
Okay, then we'll skip it.
Well, have you? Well, let
Sorry
me
about
ask
that.
you this: Do you know anything about Jonah Hex?
No, I'm not very in depth. I'm working on it. So you guys can educate me as much as you'd like.
Yeah, maybe after the podcast.
Yeah, after the podcast we'll talk. Like, I'm curious about like where everyone gets started their DC fandom from. It's just always fun
Yeah, that's
seeing like where it comes.
that's a podcast for another day. For the Jonah Hex audio drama, the thing I will say that most of the time with it was mostly me doing sound effects, and I'm really proud of it.
Oh, really? You did a lot of the sound effects. Nice.
Well, I didn't do a lot of sound effects. I did find it, but I, audio edited a lot of it. There are some sound effects though I made on my own, but that's a commentary episode.
And that's awesome, though. I really do admire your audio editing skills because I'm an amateur at that.
Look at this girl sucking up already.
Ah,
I'm joking. I'm messing with you.
I know, I got you.
We did have some stuff between season 2 and season 3, but we're not going to really get into it. And instead, we're going to just jump right into episode 21, Killer Frost. This episode was again written by me and voiced by Juice and the actor for Derek. I love him, but I hate his name because it's so hard to pronounce.
I thought he was sweet, at least like reading my script, because Killer Frost she found comfort in the fact that it was him instead of Marcus.
Oh yeah, 100%. Marcus would normally tells her like a new one verbally.
Yes, I found that when I was watching all of the videos.
Yeah, Luchrized is, I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced. He's probably gonna kick my ass later. Who plays Derek? He did a wonderful job here. I basically gave him the direction of, hey, at the moment you're being a dad.
Yes, I feel like that was perfect for Frost. She definitely needed that.
Yep. So what did you two think of the episode?
Would you like to go first?
Oh, I'm okay with you going first.
Well, for the Killer Frost episode, I really enjoyed it. I liked how how you guys were humanizing uh, Luis Lincoln, someone who I think is a bit underrated. I know that the Flash TV show decided to go with the Caitlin Snow. Danielle Panabaker, I love you, but my Killer Frost is Louise Lincoln. And I'd even say Juice's version is also a great Louise Lincoln.
Oh, thank you.
Uh, I like that she feels like a rebellious teenager, although I can't tell how old like she actually is. Like, how old is she canonically?
I think she's like 21, 25.
Okay. But so I really liked the relaying of uh, Derek with his daughters and the way Louise had lost her dear friend and how he like approaches her like he would approach like one of his daughters, and like there's something just very like nice there, and you just get the sense that Derek actually cares about helping the people in prison, that makes them feel welcome and feel heard and appreciated.
Yeah, it's interesting too because if you take a listen to some of his season 1 episode with Scarface, he's not really this nice.
Yeah, that's true.
No, he was not. And it actually felt like he was being so comforting. She actually, it seemed like it was effective for her, you know?
Yeah, the key difference though was that he approached both of them as a dad, but for Scarface it was more of the disciplinary dad mode, whereas with Frost it was okay. This girl's gone, has PTSD. You know, he's just there to listen and to see if she's okay. That's literally his job. There, he cares about everyone he deals with, but he always treats it as like a strict father, which works for some and for others, not so much.
Yes. Like how she was completely against Marcus, and then this way it actually worked. And then, some of the villains you hear talking, they absolutely hate this and end up threatening everybody interviewing them.
Yeah, a lot of the villains threaten their interviewers because they're evil, and even like Frost is evil. Like she
Yes.
will kill a bitch for no
Oh,
other
yeah.
reason than you pissed her off.
Yeah, it's good old Killer Frost. It's in the name.
It is in the name.
Which makes it even more sweet to me that at the end she's just like, I promise I won't kill you.
Yes, I did love that line. It was perfect for closing. I also liked when she said she wasn't evil, or she was evil, but not heartless, and killing someone was easy, but losing someone isn't.
Yep. And that's
And
kind
that
of
made
the
me
whole
think,
idea of her.
yes.
Yeah, and this is also, by the way, for those in the audience, this is like the first time we talk about like some of the shit Scarecrow has done leading up to the season finale. This I needed Scarecrow to be mentioned in this.
Yeah, I was watching all of the Scarecrow episodes. He is crazy, like the things he did to Rose.
Yep. And then you hear even Frost is just like, that guy gives me the heebie jeebies.
Yes.
Like this bitch who could probably kill him is just like, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. I don't want the smoke.
I really felt her with that one.
Yeah.
Anything else you would like to add, Lex?
What was that?
Anything else you would like to add before we move on?
Um, there's not really too much I'd like to add. I liked the episode, and part of me kind of wants to see a follow up with Killer Frost.
It won't be with Derek, sadly.
Oh.
Okay, maybe. We'll find out later. I love how Juice is just like, oh.
There was a little, I don't know, I like enjoyed watching it. Obviously, I didn't voice alongside him, but I feel like they built up a little relationship. But then again, it would be cool to see her interact with another interviewer.
Maybe
Yeah.
Sophie.
Oh,
Sophia.
yeah.
Yeah, Sophia.
Or Zelda. I like Zelda a lot.
So,
It's probably not going to go well.
God damn it, Zelda. Oh, it's gonna be hilarious.
You're like, Zelda, you better skip town.
Very contrasting personalities.
Yeah, definitely. Um, but yeah, that was episode 1. Moving on to episode 2, which is the Toyman episode. Which speaking of Zelda, we have the lovely Silver who I've gushed over and over again on the podcast. I'm not going to repeat how I feel about her. And for Toyman, we have some more Poke or Pook. How the fuck do you pronounce your name, boy? Boy. Who plays Toyman? Who, from everyone I've heard from, his voice gave them the heebie-jeebies.
Yes, I did. I was watching that episode back. Creepy children or creepy characters who sound like children, they're the worst.
Yep, and this one was written by you, Lex.
Yes, it was. I went off of my knowledge from Superman the Animated Series, which, for anyone listening that hasn't watched Superman the Animated Series, what are you doing with your life? Please watch it. Yeah. Have you watched it, Juice?
No. I'm working on it, I promise. I'm watching all of the animated movies right now.
Okay. Maybe we could have you on that
really
episode.
like
We
them.
tried recording it, but we lost all the footage.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, I was an idiot.
It's all good.
Mistakes happen.
Yeah, I went off my knowledge, and I wanted him to be this creepy but yet tragic, like, a character. I've always liked the serial killer aspect of him that they introduced in the animated series. And I think anyone that watches the animated series, but that was probably their introduction to Toyman. In fact, so much so that when they put Toyman in the Melissa Benoist Supergirl show, he was very much like creepy serial killer Saw like feeling to him. That I was just like, yep, that's Toyman to me. And
Yes, that felt so good for his character.
Yeah, I think this is the first time we had a interviewer actually announce that they had a crush on the interviewer.
yeah, I thought it would be that kind of fun and creepy at the same time. Because
To be fair though, Zelda rocks like a gothic look to her, so she already kind of looks like a creepy doll.
Oh yes, that makes sense. And she was not having it either.
yeah,
She was scared.
Toyman is just like, I want to go to Goth IHOP, please.
He's just like me for real.
He's just like me, for real, for real.
But
Yeah, Silver, when she heard the Toyman voice, let's see if I can get a quote from her. She said, "Jesus, I didn't expect the Toyman's voice to be this creepy."
Yes, it was so creepy. And the interaction between them, like I feel like I would have reacted the same way that Zelda did.
Yeah, and but yeah, I would say while I'm talking to you guys about the episode, I am re-listening to it as well. But I honestly, this was one of my favorite ones to work
mine
on.
too.
So what do you think of it, Juice?
So I really liked that they talked about his backstory. It somehow made me have empathy for this creepy sounding child toy. But I really did feel bad for him. And I thought mixing the weird, confusing feeling of empathy with the creepy aspect and the obsession that he even showed towards the end, it just made it perfect.
Yeah, Toyman's coming back for Zelda.
It's just gonna chase her down.
Or Zelda could get the upper hand and like put him in a briefcase, like it happened in the animated series.
No, Zelda doesn't do good with like, non-supernatural things. Ew.
Yeah, although she did survive, she did see Gentleman Ghost and survived.
Yeah, like as I said before, she had Nth medal on her. So ask me where she got it. Just don't ask. That's a question you don't want answers to.
I think they've all seen some things at this point.
Yep. Any last bits of notes for the Toy Man?
Mm, I think I'm good.
Uh, I would say that I remember one of the first bits of notes that you gave me when I wrote the first draft was you said it felt a little too much like I was just taking the origin from the animated series almost word for word. And I was like, yeah, maybe I could have done more research on like his comic root. Meanwhile, I did a lot of my knowledge on the animated series. But overall, I personally felt like that was the better decision. I don't know if you think there could have been anything.
I my my issue wasn't the backstory itself. It was just the way he was telling it was very much word for word what he said in the animated series.
Yeah.
That was the
And
issue.
Juice, if you ever do watch Superman the animated series, Toyman is literally episode 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I will get on to that.
And with that, we're going to move on to episode 23, Harley Quinn, and one that was written by Eris. Sophia Reyes was voiced by Silly, and Molly voiced Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
This one I helped out with. I wouldn't call myself a co-writer, but I did help move out. So this is one I actually have a lot to talk about to kind of explain Joker and Harley's relationship. It was abusive,
Yes, it was.
but it was a two-way streak.
Yeah, and I'm
Joker,
gonna
because
say,
one thing I don't like about like the modern day interpretations of Harley is where she's just the victim. It's boring to have her just be the victim. Because if she's anything other than just a victim, because she's became this symbol of surviving domestic abuse, if she was anything other than a victim, then people are too afraid that were downplay like actual victims and what they've been through. To me, I think I disagree with that. I think Holly is a perfect example of being in a toxic relationship when you yourself are toxic. When you have someone who brings out the absolute worst in you. Because Holly to me, Holly, even in the anime series, was not an innocent person. She came to Arkham to become famous by cracking the Joker case, cracking up what was inside of his mind. She was a
Yeah.
greedy bitch.
But part of you does feel bad for her where you're like, you could have been better. You like
No, definitely,
yes.
definitely.
So I feel bad for her, but I also feel like she definitely enjoyed a lot of it. Like when she did become Harley Quinn and put on the suit, she did enjoy part of the crime sprees they went on. It was not just, oh, she was being forced to do everything. I think it was partly that she enjoyed it and he was encouraging it. That was the thing.
Yeah, he encouraged her worst behaviors, and he in some way, and at least in this version, Joker did generally like Harley. Like out of everyone else, she was probably like his second favorite person.
Yes.
And but the thing is, though, if Joker fucked around too much, she'd kick his ass. She has been the fuck out of the Joker before, and then fallen, and then just took care of him afterwards.
That sounds just like Harley.
The two of them, have already been broken up for a while, for a little bit. they were kind of on and off again, and then Joker dies. But one thing with here was that with Harley, I didn't want her just to be like, "Oh, thank God, I'm free." I wanted her to be like, "I'm glad he's dead, but fuck, I loved him."
Yes, and I think that was perfect for her character because she did want to be there with him. And that's a perfect reflection of people who go back to toxic relationships. Like, they still, a part of them loves the person, even though they know it's wrong.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I want to do with Harley Quinn. Also, this is the second time we hear about Scarecrow basically getting one of the psychiatrists to herself.
Yes. But he's just on he's on a roll.
This, he's done it to 12 people, and by the end of this, the number will increase. So, what did you think of the episode,
I
Lex?
really did enjoy it. I liked the complicated relationship Harley had with Joker, where, like you said, I'm glad he's dead, but I miss him. Like it's complicated, and she's not a great person, but she has the potential to be a great person. And I think if we ever do any other things with Harley, like I feel like she can only go up from here. That she can learn to be a good person again, and well, or learn to be a better person due to the examples set by the other heroes, and even like having a relationship with Poison Ivy. You know, yeah. At the moment now,
It's
it's
a
just a
friendship.
friendship, and then like
At the moment,
Maybe later.
maybe
That's the
later.
thing is I don't want to force myself to force any relationships unless it's like 100% vital. Like I do think Harley and Poison Ivy is a decent couple, but right now Harley's doesn't he isn't even interested
yeah,
in dating anyone.
I think that's a good way to go about it, especially
So
since, Joker just died.
yeah. So right now it's not happening, but probably maybe later in the future something will eventually happen.
yeah,
I'm not against it. But I don't want it to be like, oh, Joker's dead. She's fucking hot. Poison Ivy now. I want there to
Yeah.
be. I want the
yeah.
romance to be natural.
I I also want to bring up that at the time we were recording this, a couple of weeks ago, Arlene Sorkin, the OG voice for Harley Quinn, had passed away at age 67. She died of MS, which was really sad, and our love goes out to her family and her friends, and thank you, Arlene Sorkin, for helping create Harley. Otherwise, we would have never had a great character to write, and never would have thought of never would have had an idea of what she would have been without her.
She made her. She made her voice, and that set the
Yeah,
foundation for all of the
and
future Harleys.
her version and her Harley was from a show that doesn't exist anymore. It's called Days of Our Lives, and she was a clown in like a couple episodes. And so, like, her clown outfit and her voice was very similar to Harley. And then that's when Paul Dini came up with the idea and was like, I'm going to put this down. This looks awful. Bruce, can you fix this? Bruce Tim fixes it. And then they're like, okay, now we have a character. And there's Harley Quinn.
Yes, rest in peace to her.
Mm-hmm.
She is definitely a legend.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely. Um, but yeah, that was a personal pleasure to work on, and I'm glad that I worked on
Yeah.
it.
And I will. And what I liked about the episode, and it gets picked up later in another episode that we'll bring up later, talking about the death of Dr. Rose.
Yes, that was the last Scarecrow one, right?
I don't think
I
was it
recall.
brought up in
I recall.
Harlequin that Dr. Rose was brought up?
Oh, right.
No,
It
they brought up
was
Alice.
Alice.
Okay. Yeah, because
It
she
was
was the
Alice.
one before.
Yeah, not Catherine Elizabeth Rose.
Okay.
So on to the next episode.
Nope.
Unless anyone else has anything else to say.
No, I
Juice.
think I'm good. Great episode.
So episode 24, the Tweedle twins or Tweedles. And before that, I do want to read out something I wrote that not a lot of people were able to see, and this is going to be kind of part of the ARG type thing for the Wonderland gang. Tweedledee, Tweedledum, two of a kind alike in mind. And there are two, but one is like. Hold on, me. There are two, but one is slightly off. Though these two are cousins, twins is the vibe that they give off. So tell me, just as Tweedledum and Tweedledee, there are two bats, but which one is the rat?
It's quite good.
Yep.
That was very good.
Yep. So before the episode begins, that's the message being played. It's blurry as fuck, so I don't blame you for not being able to see it.
Oh,
But
right on the start.
yeah.
I see
Um,
that.
this episode was written by me, voiced by my friend Nick, and Tweedledum was voiced by Tanner, and Tweedledee was voiced by Nico. I picked these two. You want to know
Why?
why I picked these two? Because in the server I'm in with them, they're called the Pancake Brothers.
Oh, that's just perfect.
You can hear it that they have just this brotherly chemistry. Cause I directed them both at the same time.
The way they went back and forth, it flowed so well.
Yep, that was by design.
Well, I really, really like how they were just driving Percy insane.
Yeah.
Oh my god, everyone loves it. Everyone
I
loves
thought
when
you said
Percy
he
goes
didn't. He
cuckoo,
doesn't lose his
cuckoo.
cool.
Normally he doesn't.
Oh, they def-
I explained this to you, Lex,
Yeah.
in the DMs.
I remember.
Boy.
So is it just the Hatter Gang because he
Yeah.
just
It's just the
yeah,
Hatter gang who's
they
able
just
to
drive
do
him
it.
insane.
They're poking at specific things with Percy
Mm.
that other villains don't even know about.
Yeah. I thought this was a. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So, oh no, you can go. Sorry about that.
Ladies
Thank
first.
you. I thought it was a very interesting episode. You know, like I said, seeing Percy flip his lid, just of how insufferable Tweedledee and Tweedledum are, and just seeing where this is all going. Maybe they're hinting at something bigger or something going on, which is really exciting.
There's no maybe about it.
It's the root of Gotham. They just kept saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my question for you is why do you love like the Wonderland characters so much, Richie?
Okay, so it's more, I just like the potential more than anything else. Above all else, I just love the potential of the one line gang, but they don't get used. So here I decided to really give them a highlight. It's less that I am like absolutely in love with these characters. It's more of these characters aren't really being used, so let's see what happens when they're center stage.
I really do like that you use them. I really don't hear much about them, and I think they're perfect for how everybody depicts Gotham as being insane. I feel like it mainly revolves around Joker, but he's not the only one who causes all of this trouble. So, with Joker being dead, I feel like you guys are highlighting so many more villains.
That's the idea. And that's why I killed the Joker.
I do think, I mean, I'm not not trying to say, oh, screw Joker, but
No,
it's
no, no.
very nice to have the light on other characters.
Yeah. Because the Joker's a great villain. Don't get me wrong. We all love the Joker.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm sick and tired of him being the only Batman villain.
Yes. It's always him.
It's always
Yeah.
Joker.
So, can I ask, like, is there something that they were poking at with Percy that you cannot mention right now?
It's less I cannot mention, but more of I want you to figure it out.
Okay.
Because again, I can't give away all the answers on this podcast. Because if I do, it's kind of gonna ruin
Yeah.
it for episode
Yeah,
50.
because I know
Of course.
Yeah, this is the long
I
term
know where it's
fan.
going.
You shut the
I'm
fuck up,
excited.
Lex.
I don't, and I'm excited to find out.
Yeah.
I'm the only
Yes.
one here who's like clueless. I'm like, oh, I wonder what's going on.
But I want there to be a notice of the White Rabbit and then now the Tweedles. And I want everyone to listen to the Tweedledee and Tweedledum poem.
I was trying to figure out what it meant.
One became two. Two only had each other. One lost a sister, another a brother. One lost a mother, the other a father. For one it was her worst day, and for one it was his best. I'll begin to drop this hint. The White Rabbit's main ability is being able to split herself into two people.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah.
You're seeing the pattern?
Yeah. Okay. So I didn't even know they were talking about her.
Mm-hmm. I don't even think Lex knew this. Knew the meaning behind the poem.
Did you know?
Oh.
Lexi.
I I actually don't have that much to say on Tweedledee and Tweedledum because I've never been interested in those characters for a long time. But I did like the performances by both actors. What are their names again? Are
The
they
Pancake
actual
Brothers.
brothers or is their stage name? Ah, all right.
No. The
Figured.
Discord brothers. The Discord brothers who love a character named Akechi whose whole meme is
Interesting.
pancakes. That is the joke.
I was sitting here. I was like,
They're not
So
actual brothers, but they might as well be. They share the same brain cell.
that's perfect for these characters.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So,
yeah,
Lex, did you think there was any correlation between the White Rabbit and the
No,
poem?
I wasn't even aware of that. I wasn't even aware of it. It's been a while since I watched the White Rabbit episode.
Yeah, I was sitting there when I was watching it, and I was just so confused by the poem because I was like, what could they be talking about? But yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
to be fair though, with the White Rabbit, I haven't mentioned what her power is. Her power is already known in from the comics.
Ah, okay.
So is if you know your obscure DC villains, you might be able to figure it out. What the
Yeah, I'm
poem's
kind of
about.
new to all of this. Well, at least getting in depth with it.
Yeah, you're welcome to the insane asylum of underground villains that we love to use.
They all have a certain charm to them.
Yep. And with that, again, I love the Tree Doors episodes a lot. They were a lot of fun, but honestly, they were not my favorite episode I wrote this season.
Hmm?
Next episode, episode number 25, Bronze Tiger.
Wait,
I have
really?
gotten shit for this
Oh
episode, by
wait,
the
now I
way.
remember. I saw
I have gotten
the
shit.
comment.
Oh, really?
Bronze Tiger's not actually a villain. Bitch, he broke the law, he got
Well, it
caught,
makes sense
he
why he'd
counts.
wind up in prison,
Shut up.
but he's definitely not like a bad guy.
No, he's not a villain, but he's not a good guy either.
I think it's okay to highlight, like you can put all of them under the villain category, but you can highlight that there are good villains. Well, at least not as bad. And then there are some who are just absolutely evil down to the core.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for this episode, it was written by Loop, who is a brand new writer. This is, I think, her first thing she ever was able to publish, and I'm so glad that I was the one who was able to publish this.
Oh, congratulations to
Honestly,
the writer.
this shit is good for
Yeah.
a first time. I'll be
It
real.
really is.
Voice actors is Sean MD, Marcus. Bronze Tiger was voiced by Derek. If you got or Drake. If you guys should know him from the previous podcast, the Chill podcast,
Yeah.
where it was just him
I
and
met
I
him. He's a really
talking
cool
shit.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's really cool. I really like him. He's ex-military.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he has this really nice deep voice, and he's really good at voicing it.
I was gonna
But
say, his character just like it felt so real and alive, especially like the script, which again, congrats to the writer because it's wonderful. Like I felt who this person was, and it really did feel like a real person talking about their past and their feelings.
I don't think I cleaned up the script a lot for her either. This is a pretty raw script. The only thing, I encouraged her to maybe add a bit more because she was under the page count. But that was
Oh,
like the worst thing with her was she was under the page cap.
Very
Lex,
I know you are. I can
I'm
feel
looking at
you
you, Lex.
looming over me.
But
why are you looming over Lex
Lex has a habit of doing this shit.
Hey, I'm
under the page count?
trying.
Yeah.
In
Once I take away your monologues.
all fairness, a lot of
Okay.
villains like to hear themselves talk. Yeah, my point exactly.
I do too.
Some
That's exactly what a villain would
Hey,
say.
I'm not a villain.
he's got you there.
But the only lines I was a part of with this was, so while you're at the CIA, do you see anyone with messy, unkept hair? Which is a reference to Percy, by the way, who worked for the CIA.
Oh yeah, I did. Because he said he knew Percy before, right?
Yeah, Percy and Marcus used to work together.
Didn't he say he knew Batman as well?
Yeah, Bronze Tiger knew Batman.
Yeah.
But Bronze Tiger doesn't know Percy too well. He jokes just like, have you met anyone with unkept hair? I think that was all of us. But
Probably was.
yeah, in many versions, Bronze Tiger trained with Bruce. So
I mean, that's something I never knew, so that was very cool to hear.
yeah, Loop did a really good job with his, with with the script. It, she won't have time to work with us anymore, sadly, because she's going to college. Good
Yeah.
luck with to her. But honest to God, this is some good shit.
Yeah, it was.
Bronze Tiger is truly an underrated character. I thought the episode was worthy of his character.
Yep. But yeah, this was like two deep
Forgetting
voices
how
talking
deep
to
and
each other.
masculine Sean can sound.
Yeah, and it's hilarious when you talk to him because he's not no, he's not down here. He's usually about right here. Yeah, man, how you doing? How you doing, man?
He it was nice hearing him go back and forth. A deep voice always feels like it brings so much to a character, and I don't know. I again don't know very much about the smaller villains that are not mentioned often, but I was learning through every episode, and I feel like I was informed so much on his character and the way he acts, and he just seems very passionate.
Yeah, definitely.
Nope.
Any last notes on this one?
I think I'm good.
The next episode, episode 26, The Walrus, is
Funny,
my
it's my
favorite
second
episode
favorite
I have
episode
ever
of this
written.
season.
The Walrus in the
Mhm.
comics is a nothing burger. Literally a nothing character. He's just there to look big and strong. That didn't work for me. So that didn't work for me. So I wanted him to sound insane. I didn't know how. And then the guy who voiced Percy, Nick, mentions the Beatles song called "I Am the Walrus." I should mention real quick that Walrus is voice acted by Michael, who also voice acted. For those who don't know, Michael voice acted the Killer Croc.
Oh, okay. So yeah, because there was a lot of power in that voice as well.
Yes. The art, by the way, I have to talk about the art for this. I don't know how the fuck I got this art for free, basically. And I've contacted the artist saying if I can use it. He hasn't responded. If he tells me he doesn't want me to use it, I will edit the video and repost it and everything. But I posted my design for the walrus on a Discord server, and then on something for redraw, just for fun. And then this, professional level artist did this interpretation of the walrus art, and it is
It's
Yeah, it does look
absolutely
really good.
gorgeous. And I use it as my profile picture.
I did notice that. I was wondering if like he was your favorite or if you just really appreciated the art. It is really well made art.
Yeah, it's really good art, and I have tried to contact the artist multiple times to pay him and everything. Um, if he contacts me after this and he's just like, "Hey, I want payment," I'll be more than happy to give him payment for this because it's that good. But this artwork is really good. But again, with this one, I want to notice. I want you guys to all notice. Walrus says, "Sister, did you have a sister? I did too. Same as you. She died."
interesting.
And so
No one.
how did he know this about Percy? Isn't Percy very secretive?
No one knows Percy's middle or last name. No one knows his past.
True.
But he did grow up in Gotham. The Root knows everything. The Root has seen it all. and the root is whispering sweet words to the
You
people
know,
of
what's funny
Gotham's
is I'm thinking
ears.
about like a bunch of Alice in Wonderland characters that are in Gotham. There was one called the Glass Man. Would have been the perfect opportunity to do like a Into the Looking Glass joke or something.
I have, unfortunately, I couldn't use every single Allison base character because I wanted the episode to be done by episode 50. I wanted the storyline to be done by episode 50 while other storylines are going. So I couldn't use every single one. Otherwise, it would be up to episode 60 before it happened. And I thought episode 50 would be the perfect episode for this. Because
Yeah.
this will explain Gotham's backstory in this universe. There is a lot to be said about the root of Gotham. I want people to pay attention to the Wonderland episodes.
Yes, I'm
Is
honestly intrigued because they keep talking about this root. I'm trying to figure out what it is. And the walrus, personally, for me, he gave me the creeps. Like, hearing the episode, I was creeped out.
exactly. Because here's the thing, the walrus and the carpenter lead the clams away, just like in the book Alice
Yeah.
in Wonderland.
I think that's really cool, and I really dig what you did with the character. I didn't know anything about this character until you had done the episode, so I found it really intriguing what you were doing with the character.
And
No,
then
I
you
actually
found,
didn't even look
and
him
then you
up. I
looked him up
just
and
took
found
your
out
word
there's
for it.
nothing to him. Yeah, honestly, there's so many cool character ideas in DC that just don't get used. And if DC ever asked me to write
Yeah,
Batman,
and you're gonna
this is the
take
story I will
characters
tell.
that don't get enough play and then put them in your universe.
Yeah,
I mean, you
because
do a
again,
great job at it. I mean, since you said there's not really much about him online, I mean, it's hard. I trust you, of course, but it's hard to believe because there was just so much behind his character. He seems like he's the big, well, he's at least one of the big guys who runs things, and, he's to be feared. That's what I got from it.
exactly, and that's the idea I wanted you to have too. So I succeeded in my writing.
Yes, you honestly did a wonderful job.
Yeah. So this one's my favorite episode I wrote this season, and I had this written for a while, and I was itching to show it. I will say the one person who knows everything about the Wonderland gang is the voice actress for the White Rabbit. She knows everything.
Okay. Yeah, I heard her. I was watching the previous podcast. I heard her talking about it.
hmm And again, this one's like nothing against like you, Miss Frosty. I love writing the Killer Frost episode too because there's such a different dynamic, and I really got to play with the idea. But the Walrus was my favorite because unlike Killer Frost, where there was stuff to pull from, there is literally barely anything close to nothing on the Walrus. I
Yeah, that makes
researched.
sense. Because, I mean,
I
you got
re-
to be more creative, right?
yeah, I researched for 2 months on the Walrus and got nothing.
Wow.
I could
Two
be wrong. Someone
months?
could prove me wrong. If someone proves me wrong and he's a super deep character in the comics, I will eat my words. Um,
Somebody just puts like an entire book underneath about the walrus's character and his past.
yeah, the only thing about Mo Blum I was able to find was that he used to work for the Black Mask, and then he started working for the Mad Hatter, and he got his ass beat by Nightwing. That was it. But
Gotta love
anything,
Nightwing.
anything else
Uh,
to add to
I think I'm
episode
all set.
26?
Me too.
On to episode 27, which is my favorite
Oh,
episode
really?
that Lex wrote Zelda, voiced by Silver, and Luigi, Mr. Luigi, voiced
Hey,
Dr.
I'm a
Alchemy. Luigi.
I really
Luigi's
loved
number
this
one.
episode.
This
Wait,
episode was the climax. Giggity. Was the climax of the Owen Mercer murder mysteries, which was the very first storyline I introduced to the interviews. And it
really.
was ended brilliantly
Oh,
by Lex. This was one of the few ones I didn't. I had a few notes for you, but this one is pretty raw from the
yeah.
first draft to the second
I
draft to the final
it was
product.
an honor to complete the story on the Owen Mercer case, on the Owen Mercer story. I thought it was excellent.
Yep. The Owen Mercer episode featured many of the rogues: Weather Wizard, Heat Wave, Captain Cold, Captain Boomerang. Who else am I
I
forgetting
think that
about?
was it because there was Boomerang, Captain Cold, Heat Wave, Weather Wizard. Oh
No,
yeah.
we had
Oh
the
yeah,
audio
yeah, yeah,
drama,
yeah.
the
I thought you were
question the
listing
answers you
the
knew.
episodes that we had, not counting the audio drama.
Yeah, I'm counting the audio drama on this. It was Heatwave first, the Weather Wizard, Captain Cold, oh, Boomerang, question the answers you knew, and then this was the finale of all of it, and it was a worthy finale of Dr. Alchemy getting
Yeah.
outsmarted by a reporter.
I thought that was hilarious the way he was so frustrated. And honestly, she had him. That's how you do it. You compliment him, they get
Yeah,
cocky.
I wrote him to be
Yep.
so arrogant that he couldn't see past when someone is like complimenting him or using his pride as a weapon against him. I wanted to write Alchemy to think he was better than everyone else. He was like, I'm better than all of you, Lex Luthor, Maxwell Lord, amateurs compared to my level of genius. Almost like a Riddler for the Flash. Like I thought that would be kind of fun. And then turns out the only way to beat him is just use his pride against him. Yeah, it was a difficult time
Mm-hmm.
trying to come up with like a way of how can you connect the murder to him. Well, he uses elements and he could manipulate all of them into making a single one of the elements from just one of the rogue's weapons. And since none of the rogues have powers and they're not entirely sure who gave the killing shot, I thought it would be a cool opportunity to slide in the element gun that Alchemy uses. Yeah.
Just slide right onto the DMs. I'm not sorry.
No, yeah, I did. I thought it was a good tie to it, especially like he was so proud of what he had designed. He just went on and on about it, not even realizing. And I really did like the way his character was voiced. You could hear the cockiness in his voice and, the confidence. And definitely did not think that she was gonna
Really?
get him.
Poor Luigi, he was sick that day.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. We had to do it quick though, because he didn't have much time to voice act. It was like the only opportunity we had, so we had to go, 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 go.
I feel like the having to go, 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 it helped with his character, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, this was one of the few times where I thought like the monologues worked because Zelda basically is poking him to monologues. He's like, "Come on,
Yeah.
come on." I'm still gonna be on your ass about that. By the way, you're not getting away that easy.
Yeah, and also, how else
You
are you
know,
going
some villains
to
love to
get the
monologue.
story? Because I can write visuals, but I don't know how to write just with sound. I've been improving. Yeah, I
Slowly.
I know. I know.
I'm
You
taking the
love me.
piss
You
out of
love
him.
me and you know it. Don't, as the
Love is
wise Chris
love is
Farley
a
once
very
said,
strong
"Don't
word.
run away from your feelings." Oh, thank you very much.
I
So,
think you've been doing great, Lex. You're welcome.
you have a fan. So, Juice, what do you think of the episode?
I think everybody did a great job on it. I mean, I really like the chemistry between Zelda and Alchemy and just the way she didn't even try to, you know, poke at him and be like, no, no, you tell me the truth. She just completely went along with it and it worked perfectly. I again really admired the voice acting, you know, despite Luigi being sick. I think it turned out great and it was a very entertaining episode and a great finish to that storyline.
Yep.
Um,
Anything
well,
else to add for
is
anyone?
this the conclusion of the Owen Mercer case? Okay, it is the conclusion because
Yeah.
everything else is epilogue.
Anything
Okay.
else is everything else is like epilogue. Yeah,
So
it's
do
just
you
a quick
know,
mission.
watching the other ones with the other characters, I just watched season 1 and I know they all hated him and said he broke the rules. So it was nice to hear about how, you know, how it did play out because everybody was confused, you know, nobody really knew who killed him.
Yeah, except for Captain Cold, who was just like, I don't know who killed him, but I'm taking the fall for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great end to
Thank
the
you very
storyline.
much.
I think it was a really good story.
I
Now,
also wrote
on
this
to
episode and
the
was proud of
cheetah.
it. I always kind of liked Cheetah, and so I was trying to figure out which origin to go with, and then you set me straight, and then I knew exactly where to go from there.
I always have to set you straight. Song came back to play Marcus, and then Eve came in to play Cheetah. I actually lowered
Mm.
the pitch of her voice here, digitally.
I did like the growls. I thought they were good for her character and, you know, of course that's how she would express her anger, so
Yeah.
it was very good for her
Wait,
character.
who
Yep,
voices Cheetah again? Eve. Yeah, I thought she did a really great job.
Eve. Yeah, during the audition, she did something so different from everyone else. Everyone else was just like, "I'm gonna kill you," while she was just like, "Well then, I guess I'll just have to kill you then."
Yeah, I know. I did.
Much more like a
Yeah, I
cat.
really dug it.
Yeah, I admire the smooth feeling of her voice. Characters like that, they just seem so they seem like they could get whatever they want from you, you know?
Simps.
I'm not okay, look, I don't mean it in a simp way, just like, you
Yeah.
know, the smooth talking sometimes it gets somewhere.
This one was really fun. It was a challenge to get those
Yeah.
growls. This one though, I
I
was
remember
definitely
that.
on your ass, Lex. This was also the introduction of the
Yeah,
next
I
mission the
I
task force
had
has,
been
which was
reading
Felix
a lot of
Faust.
stuff with Felix Faust in it at the time, so I was like, you know what, I think I'm gonna include Faust in here. Yeah, I mean, will we ever do anything with the
Yep.
conduct stuff? Hmm.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That's a maybe. I don't mind if we do like a Suicide Squad
Oh, and
audio
let's not
drama
forget the Atlantis
detailing it,
stuff that we didn't get
what
to
goes
do.
on. But yeah, yeah, but I did. I already
That's true. I
basically,
forgot
I
about
already
that.
kind of ended it with the news podcast. Yeah, everyone forgets about the news podcast.
Of course,
Basically, they
he's
stole
never
some treasure
happy.
from Atlantis, and Arthur is not happy.
Well, except when he's with Mira.
Yes, he is.
He's just an angry guy, isn't he? He just
No,
and he has an angry face.
he does have an angry face, yes, but he's not always angry.
I would never like walk up to
A
that
little
guy
too
and just I don't know, I feel like I'd be scared.
You just walk up. You walk up to him. He just looks down on you. He's like, Who the fuck is this tiny woman?"
I know,
I mean,
like
I know Arthur's
I
not a
would
bad
feel
guy,
so
but he's
violated
just
just by walking
intimidating.
up to him. Yeah, he just looks scary. Like you can
Depends on
be
the
like, "Oh,
version.
he's a great guy," but he just looks scary. I wouldn't talk like just sit down and
Yeah,
talk
The
to
Brave
him,
and
you
the
know?
Bold,
I'd recommend
Batman
you
the
guys
Brave and the Bold. I
watch
love
Brave
that
and the
cartoon.
Bold.
It has my favorite version of
What is
Aquaman
it?
in there. Yeah, he's very hammy,
Okay.
but
Sit
it
down and
make,
let me tell you a
but you just
story.
have nothing but the biggest smile on your face. Not to mention that he's
Yes.
voiced by Bender from Futurama. Oh, absolutely. I would be like, tell me all your
Okay, so
stories,
is he
Aquaman.
somebody
We're
that
like,
you would sit down and
hey,
talk
old
to?
chum.
Honestly, any version of Aquaman I talk to, I'm just
Really?
way too fucking curious.
I don't know. I
Dude,
feel like
I don't get intimidated
okay, that
easily.
makes sense.
Like you could give me the biggest death glare of who the fuck is this fat
You're like,
ass? I'm like, hello
continue.
Aquaman, I have a few questions if you don't mind.
I know.
Yeah, basically. So Cheetah anyways, we got off track. the the Cheetah episode was a fun challenge. I enjoyed working on it. There's not a lot I could say because I was outside working on
Yeah,
the
because I
audio and
know
being
you've
on your
said
ass.
you don't
Like I
have
was
like a
pretty hands
clear
off.
plan for Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Her characterization at the moment
That and the
is
Teen
up in the air.
Titans.
One of our writers will probably do something about it. Yeah. Well, I
I'm
have a
excited
kind
for
of a
that.
plan for Teen Titans. I kind of I know like I have an idea for their
Mhm.
history, but that's for another story. That's for a
Yeah,
full podcast.
but yeah, I'm glad I really worked on this one. I thought I did a pretty solid job, and yeah, I'm just glad that I was able to put it out there.
Yep.
I really liked it. I like the art that went along with it because that's what I pictured her looking like the entire interview. Just like, keeping you on your toes. Marcus obviously was smooth as ever, handling it calmly, but Cheetah she sounded so threatening.
I can make so many
Yeah.
jokes.
Oh no.
I'm keeping them to myself.
Oh God.
I'll turn off the podcast, tell all the jokes. They're not age appropriate. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm not gonna make a
I
joke.
heard the last podcast and you guys went on a tangent about what was his name?
Oh yeah.
Big Dick or something like that.
Big dicks. Biggest dickest.
But yes, I know.
So moving on to the next episode, which is the second Riddler episode. This one was written by first-time writer Layla, who will be coming back, and we have Derek, who is, voice actor back, and we got the same voice actor for Riddler, Shoko, who, of course, Shoko is
Yeah.
the Riddler. Basically, he's basically always in character.
Yep. I've talked to him. He's
It's both fun and
a
annoying.
barrel of laughs.
I love him and I hate him.
Yeah.
So does he like
Yeah.
to make
Like Will
jokes?
Ferrell.
At your expense.
Yeah, I like talking. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I like talking to him. He's a good Riddler.
I really like the way he did this character, and it makes sense, like you saying that he's always in character because he did sound like he just gave off the Riddler vibes so well.
Yeah, he gives off that vibes no matter what. You can be talking to him about the 2 days weather, and he would just be like, "The weather is perfectly fine, you imbecile."
So do we have any more plans to use the Riddler, or is this the last time we'll see him? Yeah. I always love the Riddler. I think he's such a great villain.
I
It's
have
just,
a few
like I
plans for the
said,
Riddler.
and we were talking about this with Scarecrow. Riddler is so great, but no one ever knows what to do with him. Because like thing is you gotta be a genius. You
Riddler's a
gotta
pain in the
be a
ass to
genius
write.
and you gotta know riddles. And a
You have to
lot
be
of the people that
smart.
write the Riddler are, no offense, are not geniuses. I couldn't write the Riddler great. If anything, I would not just Tom King. A lot
Tom
of
King.
writers. Yeah, I know it's tradition.
But it's the mandatory Tom King hate at least one to podcast.
I mean,
Like hate people picking on Tom King.
He wrote a story called "The
what did
War
Tom
of
King
Jokes
write?
and Riddles," and
A lot of shit.
Joker and Riddler went to war with one another. I remember liking it happen. But so yeah,
It was
I mean, Tom
It was a
King,
crock of
if you're listening to
shit.
this, I personally like your work. I was the biggest fan of your Batman, but I love your Mr. Miracle and Superman Up in the Sky. But so I've heard he's actually a nice guy. I'd
Yeah.
like to meet him, and I know he worked.
Fuck you, Tom King.
He's ex-CIA,
Yeah,
I heard.
no ill will towards him. It's just fuck you.
Yeah. But so,
Fuck you, Ryder.
yeah, I liked the Riddler episode. I remember also really liking the first Riddler episode.
Oh no, that one's still, I think that one's finally got some competition on being the best interview out of all the entire series recently. Not with this one, but with the next episode. I think really challenges the first Riddler episode. I would love to get that writer back.
I really did enjoy that. I just watched the first Riddler. I just like him as a character, so it's very nice to see him again.
Yep. Fun fact: Sophia Reyes was actually going to be the original person to interview the Riddler. However, due to the way the script was written, I didn't feel like it fit the character. So I talked to the writer, and we changed it from Sophia to Derek.
Okay.
Because Sophia isn't that harsh of a person.
Yes, I feel like I feel like for this interview you needed somebody who was kind of on the offense.
Yeah, someone on Riddler's
Mhm.
ass, which Sophia wouldn't be. She'd honestly be laughing at his riddles.
Gotta love her.
Yeah, Sophia has the
Mm.
patience of fucking Buddha. She is a saint.
I definitely got the Saint vibes from her.
But other than that, I don't really have much to say about this episode. I really liked it, and I really, enjoyed working on it.
Sorry to call back on what you guys are talking about, but like about writing the Riddler, I do agree it's very hard because it can come off as just dumb if they're too obvious, so you do have to think a lot about it. They can be very intricate, and I thought this was well done. Just with, not making his entire personality about his riddles, but also pairing that with his cockiness
Yeah,
and him
absolutely.
feeling like he's better than everybody else.
100%.
No, that's all my
Um,
thoughts there. Juice?
any last things you guys want to talk about before we move on to the final episode?
Of course.
I did have a question. Is that okay?
I loved him in the
Okay, so
Batman. I mean, his
I wanted to
outfit I
ask you
wasn't
this:
the
what did you think
craziest
about the Riddler
about,
and the
but
Batman?
like the Riddler, like I liked him being
Okay,
the
me too.
Zodiac killer, and I thought Paul Dano did an excellent job. I hope that we see him again in the future and he wears the bowler hat and the suit because I could totally see Paul Dano pulling that off. I think Matt Reeves' Batman universe is gonna go from like grounded realism to more comic booky as time
Right.
goes on. I think that's where we're going.
Mm. I did appreciate the realism. So I really enjoyed how the character was written because I could not guess where any of his riddles were going, and I really liked the intricate, complicated aspect of all of that because it kept me, on the edge of my seat the whole time. About his outfit, yes, of course, you want to see the classic green suit. I do too,
Yeah.
but I kind of like that they brought, like you said, the realism to the character because it kind of
Yeah.
gave
I
me a
will
feel of what
say,
he'd be
like,
like,
I wonder what they're gonna do with
in
because in the
real
next
life if he had
movie, I've
met the
heard
Riddler.
the villain's gonna be Clayface. So I wonder, are they gonna do the serial killer that steals people's faces? Are we gonna get Mud Monster? I would like Mud Monster, but you know, like I think for the first movie, okay, Riddler's the bad guy. You don't need to do anything supernatural. Next movie, do some supernatural, please.
Yeah, because Clayface
Yeah.
is, I really just know him as Mudman.
He's a scientific villain. He
Okay.
Yeah,
was a
he's a monster.
scientific experiment gone wrong, so he's not supernatural, but he's
Yeah,
close to being like a superpowered enemy. He's a
Yeah.
monster, but he's not supernatural.
Maybe they could do like a mix of supernatural and, being the serial killer who steals
yeah.
people's faces.
Or
To
we
me, if
do
they're going to
Ra's
add
al
supernatural
Ghul
stuff to the Batman,
properly.
they better bring in
I
Jason
want that
Blood
Lazarus pit in live action. Hmm.
So who
or Jason Blood. Honestly, I would prefer Jason Blood over Ra's al Ghul. 'Cause I love Etrigan and Jason too much.
I don't know these characters, but I would be very excited. Because, I mean,
Yeah.
like I said before, the thing with the
Mhm.
Joker, I really appreciated that they didn't start this movie off with the Joker, you know?
Yep. Anyways, on to the final episode. DC
Mhm.
Villain Interview, Episode 30. Scarecrow,
Ah,
Episode 3. Season 3 Finale. Written by me and Clover, and voiced by me and
I
Clover, with me
loved the
voicing
hell out of this
Scarecrow
episode.
and Clover voicing Doctor
I
Doom.
was listening to it today and just loving the atmosphere, the voice acting, the writing, the sound effects, the fear. Like I just was taken back to Arkham Knight Scarecrow. Like just the way he speaks and the way he conducts fear. It's just I thought it was chef's kiss. It was perfect.
I agree. Definitely Chef's Kiss. This episode had me. I actually watched these like before I went to sleep, and I was like debating on watching something lighter before I went to sleep because this one was just, it was creepy in a way, you felt it to your core. I thought this story of what he did to her, especially since, you guys just do these with audio. I thought it was perfectly um represented, not even having to see it and having this strong visual, this terrifying visual of Scarecrow and what he's doing to one of his victims.
Yeah, that's
Catherine, Elizabeth, Rose.
Yes, it is.
So the thing with the Scarecrow voice I do is that he is. I do put on a voice. I don't just go Catherine Elizabeth Rose. I put on a voice, and then on top of that voice is a filter because this is going to be the last time we're probably going to see Jonathan. So I do want to kind of break down my performance a bit. For Scarecrow, I've always went higher and gave him the rasp, which one of my friends didn't like because he liked the more smoother Scarecrow voice. However, I like doing that rasp. I like making my voice raspy. So, and I remembered in the Arkham games, Killer Croc ate Scarecrow's lung, which was mentioned in the first episode. And since the first episode, I've been going up here. This is what Scarecrow would sound like before his lung got torn out. Oh, tell me what's the matter. Yes, that must have been terrible for you. Ah, Batman. Welcome to my game of fear. And then afterwards, you add the rasp to it. And the key of Scarecrow is, with a few exceptions, you don't. He doesn't raise his voice. I am not playing game anymore. There's an intensity to that without me raising my voice. I'm projecting the voice forward more. And this is probably my favorite voice performance I have ever done to date. This episode is the encapsulation of everything I feel like I am capable of right now as a voice actor. And I have to give credit to Sean MD who directed me through this. Because it was a self direction. I'm sorry if I'm the only one talking on and on, but this episode is a lot for me because after this episode, I'm not going to scare, Jonathan Crane again, probably. Because Jonathan Crane, after this, is never going to be seen again.
You talking about it was definitely not, I know you apologize, but I feel like it was needed because this was such a significant performance for the show. For all of these interviews, this one is one that is going to stick with me. It was just so well done, and I'd imagine the directing was also amazing because it just, and like you said, I didn't really notice, but he really does never raise his voice, but there's just so much intensity without raising your voice. It was amazing.
Yeah, there's tricks I've learned through. Cause I've been voice acting for 5 years. I've been voice acting since 2019, and You can on my old channel, Fire Dragon Production, which is still open. I'm not going to take any of the videos down. You can go and listen to some of my performances. None of that holds a candle to what I did here. And this episode was also one that I co-wrote with Clover, who she she's a great friend of mine, and her and I used to role plays all the time, and asked her to be my co-writer specifically because of one of her characters she had, who was specifically known to get into people's heads. So I asked her to co-write Scarecrow with me because of that reason, and she wanted some experience in voice acting. And this is the first time she has ever published anything of her voice acting. These 3 episodes are her first gateway into the voice acting world. Everyone in this episode did amazing. You know, Marcus at the end was partly scripted, partly improv. It was fantastic. A lot of the sound effects you hear outside the atmospheric ones were actually made by me. I made the slapping noises and I made the scythe noise.
Oh, really?
The only noises I didn't make was herself. So fair warning, we all are going to talk about suicide. I knew from the very beginning that Rose was going to kill herself. This was something Clover and I knew from the beginning. And because of that, we wanted to break her slowly. We had 3 episodes. We wanted to break her slowly. The best part about this is that all 3 episodes of The Scarecrow, episode 6, episode 18, and episode 30, are all divisible by 6. 6, 6, 6. The devil's number. This was
Very fitting.
all, this was all intentional. Nothing with The Scarecrow was a mistake. Everything was perfectly planned out from the very beginning of how we were going to do. And I honestly feel like this episode is up there with the with the first Riddler episode as the one of the best episodes of the interview series of all time. I think it's going to stay up there for a while. Last thing I want to note is the music choice at the end is actually a song by Citizen Soldier called Scarecrow, just the instrumental. And in the song, one of the lyrics says, "You can't kill me because I'm already dead." Buried alive in the words that have been said. I killed myself, but no one knows. You're not talking to me. You're talking to a scarecrow. Which was my interpretation of this version of Jonathan Crane, who was bullied so bad that he hid himself. He basically committed mental or suicide, and the scarecrow is what came out. This is my take on the Scarecrow, and I am looking forward to next season and the season after because big plans coming. But I am very proud of the season 3
I
finale.
loved it being the
I talked
season
enough.
finale.
What about
I
you?
thought it was pretty spectacular. Like I can't sing enough praise about it. You know, I love Scarecrow, and your love for Scarecrow just was really emulated in this episode, and I really dug it. And you know what's funny is like I think this also would have been a perfect episode to release around Halloween. Yeah, recently, me and my girlfriend have been going through Psych
Unfortunately, we couldn't do that
together.
because of the
Really
release
good
schedule.
show, and at the end of every season, they do a Halloween episode. Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, we're in the middle of season 4 right now.
I love Psych.
Yeah. Yeah, Sean
Yeah, I
Spencer,
really need to watch
this is
that
my
show all the way
partner,
through. I've seen like
Goose
bits and
Macabry,
pieces.
and killed. Yeah, like Yeah, this is Jazz Hands McGee.
Why is that perfect?
Yeah. Hello, Sean Spencer, Detective Psychic for the LAPD. Oh,
My
and
God,
this is
it's
my
like spot
friend,
on.
Trash Can a la mode. Like, he'll just come up with. Poor Gus.
Gus
But
just
so yeah, I liked that this
I
was the
know, poor
episode
Gus,
that was at
honestly.
the end of the series of the season. I always think the season finale should always be something spectacular, not just being too big, but like something that has like gravitas and interest in it that makes it appear bigger than it is.
Yep, yep, definitely. So, Juice.
So I know I said of course, your Scarecrow performance was phenomenal. It was bone chilling, honestly. Also Clover, you said this was her first voice acting that she'd ever published.
These three characters, yeah. This for
Okay,
three
she
episodes.
did this. Her performance in this episode was so good, and I need her to know that because she like I just you could really feel the emotion so strongly. I felt so bad for her, and you could hear her breaking and losing it. You know,
I
it was so
I
well
loved
done.
your take on Scarecrow, and if this is the last we ever hear of Mr. Jonathan Crane, you went out with a bang, my friend. I liked it. I thought it
Oh
was
yeah,
a
you did.
cool addition that just
So, what do you guys think
only added
about
to the episode
Marcus
of
thing at the
just
end?
him making it kind of personal now.
Mm-hmm. I
I did
guess.
as well. You know, because they'd all been talking about what he'd done to previous interviewers and other people. I think just the feeling that they probably all had in another one, you know, like he got to another one of us. Just, I think the closing, because I thought it was just going to end there with, you know, her going out. But the ending with him closing it off just showed that, you know, they
Yep.
they were grieving for her, and it was another one of them lost
Which
to
is not a
Scarecrow.
bad idea.
If I were to do another episode, it would be Scarecrow with Hugo Strange.
Ooh.
The only reason I don't want to do it is because someone else did a brilliant Scarecrow and Hugo
Yeah, you don't want
Strange
to come off as a hack.
interview, and I don't want, and I'd probably take too much ideas from it.
Okay.
Yeah. Funny enough, it was still the same guy who helped inspire all these episodes, but I guarantee you that this is not going to be there's still going to be higher heights to go to after this episode.
Yeah, and I can imagine all you could do with this series is get better and better, and this is just I mean, this was phenomenal, so I cannot imagine where it's going to go from here.
Yep. This, so far this has been a really good season. Season 1 was great. Season 2 was better overall. But season 3 is just feels like we kicked it up a notch. Honestly, it really did feel like we kicked it up a notch. But I recommend anyone who's interested to go listen to um, Citizen Soldiers, Scarecrow song. It's a really good song, and I highly. We have, I've been a busybody. Like again, season 1 has some really good like episodes, but as I said before, I think season 2 we overall got better. Season 3 we got better, and season 4 we're even better. We're going to keep getting better because there is no going down in quality. I won't allow. There's only up. But I'm
Do
actually
you want to go
curious
first,
about you
Juice?
guys. What is your favorite top three favorite episodes for this season?
So I'd probably have to say, um, number
You can go
one
first because I actually have to
has
think
to
about that.
be the Scarecrow one. I already sung its praises, but I really enjoyed it and I thought it was excellent. My second favorite one was also the Walrus, just making, just making something so great out of a nothing burger. Third one that I really dug was Bronze Tiger. I just always liked that character, and I thought he was displayed very well here. And like I said earlier, I thought it was an episode worthy of his character.
Juice?
So I've been sitting here and thinking it's so hard to pick a top three. Um, can I just say the ones that I really, really enjoy?
Yes, name the three
Okay.
ones you really, really enjoy.
Okay. Um, okay. I can give number one to the Scarecrow episode. I know I already said it
Yeah.
just like Lex. But yeah, that's definitely number one. I really liked the Toy Man episode. That one creeped me out, and I really liked the way that story was approached. And then I really liked the one with the twins, just because the way they were going back, I thought it flowed so well.
For me, it would have to be Scarecrow, Doctor Alchemy, and then the Walrus. Those are like my
Yes.
top three favorites. Because again, Doctor Alchemy was a fantastic ending to why I started. The Walrus was just something I was so happy with for so long. And then the Scarecrow episode, I think, is currently just the peak of performance from me as of this time. Again, next year, once the next interview, I might go back and say, back in season 3, I sounded like shit.
No way.
But
Yeah.
this has been, any last things you guys want to say to the audience before we end this?
Yeah.
Because holy shit, it's 2 hours.
I thought this was a really good season, and I know what's in store for season 4, and I'm
Any last
really
words?
excited about that one.
So I do not know what's in store for season 4, and I am very, very excited to see that, as well as the thing with the root that all of the Wonderland villains were talking about. I think everybody did so well in this season. All of the writers, the voice actors. This season it was very, very good, and I think everybody deserves a thank you for putting out such good content, and congratulations on finishing this season.
So, for everyone else who's still here at the very end, thank you for listening all the way through. Stay tuned because we have more coming in. I'm not just talking about season 4. Things are about, let's just say someone needs to go out on patrol and watch out for some doom. Have a wonderful day. Hope you have a lovely day. And I hope you continue to support us.